not. Let me just stick with just talking since I can't seem to. It's for some reason it did this to me last night at that 24 commission meeting too. So I don't know. Let me just do this. This will be fun.
Okay, well, I apologize. Commissioner Brown, you are live on YouTube, and it's 6 o'clock, so the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lauren. So I would like to welcome everyone with us tonight, and it looks like all of our commissioners are present. Philip Stout, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. I just hadn't heard your voice yet, so I wanted to make sure you were there. I don't know if any other commissioners have actually logged into with us, but being live, they could probably see it anyway. I know Justin Cotton is with us tonight. Is that right, Justin?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. So if anybody has any questions for him, he's certainly going to be available to assist us tonight as we discuss our budget. But before we get started, though, I do know we also have our newly appointed director of schools with us. And so if Bobby, would you like to introduce him to us?
Sure. I'd be honored to do that. Mr. John Suarez is our new director of schools. He's, been on site for the last couple of weeks. He's doing two jobs right now. He's currently ending the principalship at White County High School, and also we're transitioning him, with the director of schools role here. So he's working day and night, literally. He's working with us during the day and then finishing up his duties at White County. And so hopefully everything will get done this week, and he'll be full time with us on Friday. But he's like I said before, he's a fine educator. He'll do a great job here in Warren County. He's proved that in White County, and just been an honor of mine to have him here the last couple of weeks, and trying to give him as much information as I can give him before Friday. So he's been absorbing it all. So I'll just turn it over to him if he wants to have some comments. But again, we've got Ms. Carleen Brown Grant, that's our chair for the education committee, Robert Hennessy, Philip Stout, David Dunlap on the phone, and Deborah Evans are the committee members of the county commission. And then of course, Justin, we went over and met Justin. So I'll turn it over to Grant and let him speak.
Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that introduction, and appreciate you and all you've done with me over the last couple of weeks. And he's right. I'm actually in my now vacated office and at my school, trying to get things wrapped up here so I can be full bore on Friday morning in McMinnville. So I can't tell you how excited I am to be the next director of schools following Bobby, and all that he's been able to accomplish and the things that he's done in the county is just tremendous. And so the opportunity to follow that up is great. He's told me what a great committee this is to work with. And so I look forward to continuing with you all and trying to build off the momentum he's created, and with a great team. So I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys having me on today, and I'll sit and watch and let Bobby wrap up his last education committee meeting.
Well, welcome aboard. We look forward to working with you, and know that I speak on behalf of all of us. If you ever need anything or want to call us or email us, contact us, and drop by and visit you, or our doors are open.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I will depend on you, I'm sure.
Oh, well, we are very, very sad to see Bobby leave, but we're very excited about you coming in, and I look forward to the future we have with you and our community here.
Great.
Okay, at our last education meeting, I don't know if y'all remember, but we did a tour of the Bobby Ray School, and they were just talking about how when they were on spring break, they were going to get several things finished, and the kids, next thing we know, the kids went home for some illness and went on spring break and never came back.
That's true. That's right.
But Bobby Ray has gotten finished, and that's also allowed a lot of things to happen with West Elementary. So anyway, we're excited that that project at Bobby Ray is complete. We have two things on our agenda tonight. That is to review the fiscal year 2021 budget. And then we are going to watch a video. So if you would, I would like to go ahead and just turn this on over to you, Bobby, and let's go ahead and walk through your proposed budget.
Okay.
And then we'll have all of our questions and however you'd like to handle that, okay?
Okay, sure. I hope everybody's, I know Lauren sent that out, so I hope everybody's had a chance to review the budget. This year we tried to keep the same maintenance of effort figure. We're not asking for, any kind of a tax increase in the coming year from current property tax and the local funding. And I know that the penny increased a little bit. So in talking with Justin and knowing the situation that we're in, not only as a county, but as a nation and a world, and what we really don't know what the budget outlook is going to be for the legislature that goes back into session, June 1st. We were told today that, there may be some changes that might come down, but that all things were pretty much on the table at that point. So I don't know where that will go. I guess we'll find out June 1st. But the estimates that we have gotten from the state, our BEP funding increased, I think, around $565,000. Of that, we're required to put 500 or 323,000 into salary and benefits line items there, because we still are chasing that average weighted salary number from the state. The state runs about 2 years behind on the average weighted salary, so that what's calculated now in our estimate is actually the fiscal year 2019. So with the increase that you all gave us last year, and we were able to do $1,000 plus the $1,000 from the state, we will see that in the average weighted salary in our next budget round in fiscal year 21. So hopefully the amount will start making those numbers, become closer, I guess you'd say. We're still above, the minimum salary statewide. There was a goal by the governor's office to try to get the minimum teacher salary to 38,000. We're already at 39,000 as our starting salary. So, we're in good shape as far as, minimum salary level and being competitive with the districts around us. So, bottom line on local revenue is we're simply asking, for the same amount of equivalent amount of pennies that we got last year, dollar figure wise, because again, we feel like that's what, we don't know what your situation is going to be. We don't know what our situation is going to be. And, again, you blessed us with that funding last year, and, we're going to try to continue that. We are planning on putting a $1,000 increase for teachers. Again, we're required to put in salaries for teachers, $323,000 in those line items. Obviously we have 522 teachers, so to give them a $1,000 increase is $522,000. So we're again using the majority of our BEP money to give teachers a $500 or $1,000 increase. Our classified staff, we've built in a $500 increase. And that's, both of those are over, in addition to their last year's salary. It's not the step raise, plus $1,000. It's $1,000 from what they made last year, or $500 if they're a classified staff member from what they made last year. To do that, I think by our calculations is a little bit over $600,000 in salaries. So we've tried to amend our budget a little bit. We do know that we're going to get estimated about $1.6 million in stimulus money from the COVID virus, the CARES Act funding that is coming out for schools, that should be coming to us in application form probably in the coming weeks, but probably actually dollars will not flow into the system until probably June, mid to late June. The focus of those funds are for technology, connectivity, and reimbursement of things that possibly we used during the outage. So we are, don't know all the guidelines and rules for that, but they cannot be used for salary or recurring items. It has to be used for support and one-time items. So there'll be more information. I'm sure Grant will bring you that as we know it, and as we know it, we'll make sure that you know it. Increase in insurance this year. There's a 5% increase in medical insurance premiums that will go into effect January 1 of 21. So that's an increased cost for us. And again, that's passed on to the employee. So their insurance increase will go up. Our insurance cost will go up if they take our insurance. Last year, we were very lucky that the state did not have an insurance increase. So that full $2,000 raise, was felt, by our employees, which is good. So that is one issue. Our capital projects to finish up West Elementary, there's about 1.2 million that we're using out of our reserves and in our capital projects money to finish up West Elementary on our end. Hopefully that will come in a little bit less than that, but we're going ahead and budgeting that amount. Just in talking with Justin, we're monitoring the amount of bond money that we have. Kitchen equipment for the project was about $475,000, but that came out of our school nutrition budget. So hopefully we should be in good shape there to finish up the project at West Elementary. We have completed, as Carlene said, the project at Bobby Ray. So everything is paid out there, and all the funding wise, there's still a few punch list items to deal with, but everything else as far as money wise should be, paid there and complete. And then our ESG project, we're just in the punch list phase of that. As a positive, I guess, as Carlene mentioned at the commission meeting last night, we have been able to control our buildings extremely well because of the project that was started last April. Being out, we've been able to control our energy cost a lot more. So in the month of March, which we went half a month, with spring break, we saved around $32,000 in energy cost. In April, with the estimated bills we've got in so far, we've saved around $59,000 in April. So May should be similar, and we should be, putting that money back, to be able to pay the bond and the loan off with our savings, which is guaranteed. So all of that is in our capital projects, funds. Bottom line, and when we get to the end of our budget, you'll see we are having to use about 4.4 million of our fund balance projected, to balance our budget. But again, 1.2 million of that is a one-time cost, which is in our capital projects funds. That should still leave us 5.3 million in reserves estimated at the end of the year. And, if you look at our amended budget and our estimated expenditures, there's another 3 million. So I think we'll probably end up June 30 at the end of the year, if everything goes as planned, with about an $8 million fund balance, which is, help us going into an unexpected start to the school year, of which we really don't know where we're going to go. So I'll kind of stop there and, let you all ask any questions, that you have, but that's really kind of the, cut and dry. It's really, there's not a lot of, we've cut out, most of the things in there that we can maybe pay with technology, with the CARES Act funding, and, not asking the county for anything other than what we've got, last year, and we'll make do with what we have.
Mr. Cox, Robert Hennessy,
Yes, sir.
if I may, Ms. Chairperson, ask a question.
You certainly can.
That's quite impressive, the savings with your energy usage. I did a little quick math and we're looking at somewhere around $145,000 in savings in about a 3-month period if we continue on the same savings rate as what we have historically the last 3 months. Is that pretty close to what your calculation would be?
Yes. Our goal for the coming year is in energy savings is about $450,000 is what we're projected from, January to December. So, that's putting us, ahead of schedule is what it's done. So,
Right.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Miss Chairman, this is David Dunlap. I have a question.
Okay.
Mr. Cox, I was a little concerned, but I heard you say our ending balance was probably going to be closer to 8 million or a little bit more than 8 million.
Right.
I was just concerned that what I saw on the budget, it was like closer to 5 million. Well, where is that other 3 million that you're talking about? I didn't understand that.
Okay. If on the last page of the budget where the reserves are, if you go up there to that line that says total estimated expenditures, you see that line? Okay. If you go over to the column that says amended budget, it's got $56,197,220 there. That's our estimated expenditures. And if you go over to the next to last column, where it says estimated revenues and expenditures for 1920, it's 52,695,180. So that number is what we're projecting that we will spend, through June 30th. So that number will go back into our ending balance at the end of the year. So we should be somewhere around that $8 million mark, I hope, if everything goes well. So that's where that $3 million comes from.
Right. Okay. I understand. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Again, all of those are projections. A budget is just that. It's a projection, but really we've been able to conserve what we can, just being out. And of course, payroll, we've been able to continue to pay everybody, which is a good thing. And that's one of the good things about having a reserve, that we can do that. And we're still well above our 3%. That we have to keep is about 1.7 million. So even if it were, closer to the $5 million mark, we're still, well above our 3%. So Justin may want to speak to some of that, and hopefully I'm correct on that if that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's I'm seeing pretty much the same thing that Director Cox is saying.
Justin, do you have any comments that you want to make toward his budget, or any concerns, or anything that you'd like to say?
No, but I would like to commend him and the school board on doing as much as they can to, stave off any possible downfalls we might have in the future by not, trying to go out and do anything big at this time. I think that's probably something we're all going to do in the coming year. I mean, but the budget looks good to me.
Thank you.
And again, I still want to, I'm always cautious about, those numbers, and, I know Grant will, look at those as well, but that's the best projection we've got as of today. We still don't have all of our sales tax numbers in, so our revenues, may not come in as they could. If they don't, then that 3 million that I was talking in addition to that may be, less. So, we'll just have to see how we end up on June 30th, and all of our revenues, especially sales tax, which, having a shutdown and a stay-at-home order, will probably affect that at some point. So
it's just unfortunate that the state's always 2 months behind on sending the sales tax too. So
right.
It'll be too late for us to alter our numbers by the time we see the results.
Right. So it's good as of what is today, 5/19. So it's as good as 5/19. I can't guarantee anything after that.
Yes, I agree too with Justin. It's very good and very comforting to see a budget that we're going to be able to pass through Warren County and not be drastically affecting things, because I know that every department's not going to be this fortunate. So do I hear, if there's no other discussions or questions or concerns, a motion to forward this budget on to Budget and Finance?
So moved.
I make a motion, we forward it on. This is Philip.
Okay, I've got a motion from Philip to forward it on, and Robert Hennessy second. Is that okay, Robert?
That's just fine.
All right, and any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Deborah? Aye, okay. Motion carries. Again, thank you, Mr. Cox, for this very good report here that you've given us and proposed budget. And I know y'all know that Mr. Cox did say that this budget was passed by the school board, all parts of it, the other night. And of course, we've already did the federal budget last night.
Correct. Yes, the resolution, yes, but all
Yes.
the federal program, school nutrition, and our general purpose school budget were passed on the 11th by the school board, and they've been in Justin's hands probably, I think, on the 11th that evening. So he's had them since then. Good.
Okay. All right. Our next on our agenda is to have our video tour, because we aren't able to go and tour this facility at this time. But so Bobby has arranged with Mr. Joe Harvey to do this video. So if Lauren, if you're ready, you can start that. Lauren, the sound's not on this time.
Nice looking sign.
Yeah, that's a new one. That the school bought that.
Lauren?
Yes.
Okay, there's the music. Thank you. I couldn't hear the music before.
Okay, I apologize.
Bobby, did you say the library is going to be also used as a computer room?
Well, the computer lab will be what you're seeing right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
it's the old kitchen area, but it'll be converted to a computer lab behind the library.
I got you. Thank you.
It's hard to believe it's going to open in 11 weeks.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It's moving now. Another, they've been able to move forward a little bit quicker, with students not there. So hopefully, the biggest thing is getting supplies and labor right now.
Yeah.
So that's walking into the new cafeteria. Obviously, the stalls aren't up yet, so the restrooms. This is going into the new cafeteria.
Wow.
Did the principal have input as far as the interior design of the cafeteria? Like Bobby Ray, it looks really nice with the new artwork.
Yes, that's going to be the same way there. That's the preliminary painting, but it'll be the same cafe style. And yeah, she was involved in that process, and color schemes and things of that type.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it really is. The kitchen, when you get back to there, they're really excited about the kitchen area, a lot larger than they had.
My mom would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
A natural light coming in looks great.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, this is the new part of the new kitchen area.
Were those walk-in freezers we just looked at?
Yes. 2 double walk-in freezers, 2 of them.
Wow.
Wow.
So
That's
it's
great.
like I said, the project's moving forward. They're still shooting for last construction meeting that we had was they're shooting for the first day of school, or at least shortly after that. One of the holdups was the lighting. When the virus hit and the lighting company manufacturers they shut down, so they weren't able to make the lighting, and so they couldn't put down the tile flooring until the lighting got in, because they have to, drive equipment over the tile and they'd break the tiles. So that kind of held the project up. So we were able to start the demolition on the old part. So that got us a little bit ahead of schedule there. So it's moving forward there. We also just approved at financial management last week a fence bid for the campus. So that will come from our safety grant that we got. And all of these funds, these grants that we got last year, the majority of those from the state, they're allowing us to roll those over so that maybe we don't have to spend those out by June 30. So we get to carry those funds over, which is good. We approved the fencing grant, so that will fence the entire campus. And we've also, I worked with our engineer, of course, and Mr. Ming at the city to include, gates there that go into the ballpark area. So we'll have one drive-through gate that goes onto the walking track and a pedestrian gate where people can still park in our parking lot and walk through those gates to access the track and the ball fields. So we'll work with the city, on, making sure those are locked up at night and things of that type. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Good deal.
So if you get any questions about that, yeah, we're not gonna, cordon off the parking lot and not be a good neighbor. So we've got gates there for that.
Mr. Cox, question.
Yes.
This is David Dunlap.
Yes.
The gate, there's a little gate over there by the tennis court. Will that be accessible possibly because, for example, people playing tennis, or soon in June, we're going to have a tennis tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Will people be able to get over into that area to get a tennis ball?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they should. Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with that. The gates, the same gates that are there now will still be there. And we're just adding, a couple of new gates to, to the track area so that they can access that. So we can access it both walking and if a vehicle if needed.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the video is great. Please let Mr. Harvey know how much we appreciate him doing that. And hopefully that's going to be on our YouTube connection when people go back and look at this. I guess that will be.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to say before we would? I'm sure everyone would like to make a comment to you, Bobby, and say a few words to you. Does anybody want to start out with that?
I do.
This is going to be our last meeting with Mr. Cox.
I hope you can hear me.
I can.
Okay. I just want to say it's been an honor and a pleasure to have worked with you almost 2 years. You've explained things. Me as a new commissioner, you've explained everything to where I could understand it. And you've done a great job, and we're going to miss you, but welcome to Mr. Swallows. We're glad to have you on board. So thank you, Mr. Cox.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
You've been great. Thank you.
Robert, would you
Bobby,
like to, David, would you like to say something?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is David Dunlap. Bobby, I've enjoyed working with you years ago as a teacher and a coach, and appreciate everything that you have done since I've been on the commission, and good sailing into the sunset, and all the things that you do in the future. And I know you will be busy, just as a lot of us are in our retirement years. And I don't even really expect you to be retired, but just keep on trucking. We're proud of you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We're not going to let him go very far.
Hey, Bobby, this is Philip.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed working with you even before you became director of schools at the central office for several years, and I hope your future endeavors will work out well for you, and best of luck.
Thank you, sir. I feel the same, Philip. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bobby, Robert Hennessy here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You know, I just reflect on the past, and I know you have done a lot of reflection here probably within the last couple of weeks, and it's hard to imagine that this chapter in your life is closing and the new one forward is going to open up. But I can't help but remembering you in that gymnasium in West Elementary, and that's the first time that I had actually met you, and how important our educational system has been to me personally with my daughters. Both my daughters were challenged in some aspect, and I'm very proud to say that my youngest daughter has a master's from the University of Pittsburgh and is now working with the Washington State Military Department and the EMA, and she was on the front line with our nation. And she's a product of Warren County, but also a product of the great educators that we had in Miss Alpha Ray and Carolyn Wilson at that time to bring her up and to give her the confidence that she needed to exceed in her life's journey. And also my oldest daughter had a reading disability at a young age, and it was always a struggle for her, but I'm proud to say that her going back to Lipscomb and finishing up her master's this year in nutrition is just a reflection on our great education system, and also the background that you had with the people from all the educators across the county to catapult you in the position that you held for the time that you held. You've done us proud. You've done your family proud. And it's been a pleasure of mine to work with you through the ESG project and the education that I've gotten personally from what the system itself, how complicated and how large and enormous it is. And I just wish you the best of luck and enjoy yourself. And I'm very proud of the fact that you can leave at this point in your life. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Robert. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Well, gosh, Bobby, you and I have been together a long time because I was just sitting here thinking about how long it really has been, but it's been actually my entire life here in McMinnville, the last 30 years, or 33 years now. But, it's the proclamation last night really said it all. And I know everybody agrees with that. All the different things that Mr. Haley mentioned is such you've got to be so proud to know you're walking out of a job where people can recognize so many good things that you led through in this community. Because I know you've always said you never did anything by yourself. And that leadership that you have has really benefited all of us. So we really thank you very much. And I thank you for the help that you gave me as a Parks and Recreation Director, now even on into this county commission. And thank you for what you have done for our community and for our children and for our parents. And actually for our future, because without education, we have nothing. So Mr. Swallows, you've got some big shoes to fill. I guess you know that, right?
I've only heard that, I don't know, 151 times in the last 2 weeks. So, and everyone's right. And I'm just going to say what I've said 151 times. I'm not going to seek to fill his shoes. They're too big. I'm just going to bring my own and we're going to go to work. So
we'll make sure you bring you a pair of golf shoes and tennis shoes. He's going to need a little recreation too. So,
that's right.
Again, thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Mr. Swallows, for joining our community. And if no one has anything else to say, do I hear
Madam Chairman?
I would
Madam
like
Chairman. Okay.
I would like to say a few things, if you don't mind, Carlene, just to thank
Absolutely.
Just to thank you all. I mean, you all have been great to work with, and obviously I have fond memories of of all of you, with Philip and Mr. Dunlap, working together in the school system, and, seeing them, Philip, especially on a day-to-day basis. I started at the central office in '99. So, working on 21 years in administration at the central office level. So got to work with Philip and Mr. Dunlap, and those are great role models. And, saw Miss Evans' sons grow up, and got to coach them in football and work with her husband. He and I coached middle school football together, and, definitely fond memories, of that. And as Robert said, his two girls were, at West Elementary, and, Penny, and she helped sub a lot of times for me in the gym, and we got to know each other that way, and Robert as well. And, and Carlene, of course, the relationship I have with your husband, and, coached me when I was in high school, and, was able to come back and coach with him. And that's really one of the, the great joys of my life, to be able to do that. And he's obviously been a big role model, and for me, for sure, and molded my life, and you as well. And just appreciate you all. And, then Lauren came in, and, I got to coach her when she was, little, and she's now grown up and a fine young lady and working in there, and Justin as well. And, working with him in finance. So, I truly mean that. The old saying, comes to mind, that, I see further because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I think that's true. As, I haven't done any of the things that we've been able to accomplish myself, but, it's always been a team effort from the time I was, little, playing, baseball and, basketball, to the time now. I've always relied on, working together with other people and as a team. And you all are part of that. The things we've been able to accomplish the last couple of years with the school projects, that's because of you all as well. I've just been lucky to be the conduit to, help get that done. And we've got a great team. I've told Grant that, we've got, good things that we've done, and we always want to look at those. But, I told him we've also got things that I've probably left undone as well. And, you always don't like to talk about those things, but I'm sure he will take us to great heights. And, I'm happy to be able to, maybe change gears a little bit, and proud of our community and proud of what we have accomplished. And I know he'll do a great job. But truly want to thank you all. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You've been great to work with. And, I know you'll work with Grant great, and he'll do a great job here in Warren County.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Madam Chairman, it's County Executive Haley. I just wanted to add a little thing here at the end. The accomplishments that we have made across education over the years has been outstanding, but the last almost 2 years of working with Mr. Cox and the Education Committee, which I put a lot of thought into before I nominated each and every one of you for that committee. It was a committee that was chosen from my heart, and I knew that each and every one of you had children in your heart, and the best interest of our county was to invest in those children, because it is our future. Mr. Cox has exceptional leadership. The team that he's been able to build at the central office and across the school system, choosing principals and administrative staff that have raised our level of expectations higher each and every year. But I just want to congratulate him on all the successes, and for the support that the Education Committee has been there through some hard times and some big challenges over the last 18 months or so. But we have accomplished a lot, and we should be celebrating those things. So, Mr. Swallows, you've got a great Education Committee to be working with. Chairman Brown has exceptional leadership abilities. I've worked with her when I was working with the city, and she was as well. And so it is a small community. Our lives overlap. There's connectivity between each and every one of us. And so we want to bring Mr. Swallows in to that same level of connectivity, and even reach bigger and better things over the next 2 years as we move our community forward and celebrate the progress and make Warren County the strongest, most economically viable, with workforce development and children who are able to fill those jobs, and the expectations that we set higher and higher each year will deliver, what we all expect, which is excellence. And that's what we're gearing ourselves toward. That's what we're planning toward. And it's not good to settle for less. So I always think big. And so with that team effort that we've created over the last almost 2 years, and with the team spirit that each and every one of you exude, every time you meet, every time you're out in the community, every time you're at some kind of school function, representing Warren County and our commission, and our commitment to investing in a better future for all of us. So, Mr. Cox, thank you for being a proven leader and for the teamwork that you have been able to create across the school system, and the team effort that you've had with me and the commission as we've made bigger and better investments for all of us. So that's the better tomorrow we're looking toward, and Mr. Swallows will do an exceptional job. I have great expectations for him as well, and I think he's going to take us even bigger and better places by working together with all of us in this same team spirit. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before we close? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn. Philip.
We have a motion to adjourn. Thank you all very much, and good luck to you, Bobby.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Good night.
Good night.